And this is Kenny Kip Kennedy, master of Kenny's Kempo Karate.
Hier spricht Tassilo Jung von Western Extreme Wrestling.
This is the Dark Child, Chance Crawford, the NWA National Heavyweight Champion.
This is the Temptation, Sean Tempers.
This is Jacoby Boykins, a.k.a. the Alabama Ambassador, Mr. 256.
This is the Bee's Knees, the Cat Pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano.
This is Bill Darrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside. And you are a better person for it. Trust me.
2 hours done, third hour underway, but I don't think we're going to make it through the third hour. Phil has life commitments, and I have a major case of bronchitis that is absolutely kicking my ass. But you know something? The show can and will go on, and we're going to have some fun in the process. Welcome back in to Back to Basics. One of the where everything
English language,
the where everything is on the table and nothing's off the record originally was supposed to be Back to Basics, but I gave that to the Shooters Gallery. Son of a buzzard. So I almost crossed it. I almost crossed the streams in another particular capacity. There he gone. Fast Eddie Layne over here, welcoming back in Phil Stamper. What's up, buddy?
Not much. How are you?
Exhausted, as if last weekend wasn't crazy enough. This weekend, Mania weekend, the ultimate thrill ride for all pro wrestling fans.
The ultimate thrill ride?
Thrill ride. My name is Elmer Fudd, millionaire. I own a mansion and a yacht.
I'm so happy for you.
There you go. And right now, there's about 60 million people with a lisp that's going, "You're making fun of me." No, we're not. We're making fun of ourselves. Don't take personally.
Our inability to use the English language is apparently.
Of course. But coming back over to it real quick, I know that the chaos is going to continue, and I'm not going to necessarily say on a cylindrical basis, nor a circular basis, nor on a merry-go-round basis. We could just say it could happen on a revolver. Right, Phil?
My brain just melted at your ability to try to turn that in that respect. But it is Wrestling Revolver, the ever-rotating door of professional wrestling. And it's coming to Orlando on Saturday at noon for Pancakes and Pile Drivers. One of two events for Pro Wrestling Revolver this weekend.
Now, this one is going to be at the Wyndham Orlando Resort, 8001 International Drive, Orlando, Florida. If you want the zip code, kids, it's 32819. They do have a Facebook fan page available for the Wrestling Revolver, but by the same token, there's also been some change-ups going on this whole outing, right, Phil?
Absolutely. Wrestling is what wrestling is. Sometimes people get hurt. Sometimes things happen. Contracts go crazy. So there have been a little bit of modifications as we've gone through. But let's start off with the card. We have in a Battle of the Sexes Part 2, Man Scout Jake Manning takes on Su Yung. Why are you laughing? You're already giggling.
No, it sounded like you said Man Scat. And then you corrected yourself.
One, I didn't even realize that was something I had done, if that is what I did, and nor did I mean Man Scat, though I would say Su Yung might squash him like such.
There you go.
Because she's a little unhinged.
What was your first clue?
Just her.
Yes,
when I saw her rise, I don't want to say rise I want to. If you were 6 years old and you saw the Undertaker for the first time, rise from the dead, and you would be like, "Holy crap!" Okay, now I want you to imagine a female doing that, but when she rises, it comes from her sternum, and she almost floats in the air and then rises from the dead. She's a little out there,
but she's fun to watch.
Yes, she is.
And with all due respect, we both know Jake Manning very well. I've worked with him a couple of times. Solid in-ring performer, and very often is overlooked and underrated.
Absolutely. I would agree to that. Maybe a slight tone of misogyny, slight ever so much. Hence his running of the intergender gauntlet. He did beat Jessica Havoc in a very hard fought match when we were in Iowa last.
I never saw that. I want to see that.
Up against Sue Young.
I want to see that match.
Oh, it was fun.
The Man Scout versus the Havoc Death Machine?
Yes.
Definitely. Only thing that would have made that better is if you had Lufisto for the three-way dance. And yes, I said that.
My brain just went, ooh.
Dream match?
I'm up for it.
There you go. I wonder how far Jake would make it in that match.
Ooh.
But we continue on.
We also have an Olympic wrestler, Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb himself, first time ever taking on the product, David Starr.
I'm waiting on this one. Now, I've been meaning to ask because I don't know. Does David still have the WXW Shotgun Championship, or did he end up losing that somewhere down the line?
He did recently lose it, I think, last week.
That sucks.
He is no longer the WXW Shotgun Champion.
That sucks. Now, in my book, I'm a David Starr fan. I've worked with him down here in the southeastern U.S. Tremendous young man, great in-ring talent, and for him and Jeff Cobb to hook it up, I think that's going to be an experience that true wrestling fans are really going to be able to dig.
Well, and like I said, Jeff Cobb, 2004 Olympic wrestler. David Starr used to wrestle in Division I college NCAA wrestling.
Yeah.
Now both are in pro wrestling, so both are no strangers to solid technical wrestling. Both are no strangers to hard, fast-paced, impact-style professional wrestling. So I am really looking forward to this matchup as well.
What else we got?
We have, and this is a match that just got modified. We've now made this a Pancakes and Pile Drivers 5-way mashup.
Mm-hmm.
We have Palmer, Desmond Xavier, ACH, Michael Elgin, and Moose in a 5-way mashup. This is interesting because you have, Michael Elgin can go and he can mix up styles, but now he's, a little bit more of a bruiser. Moose is just a wall of muscle. ACH and Desmond can do amazing things. Palmer is just a little creepy. So you have this mix and blending of styles in this 5-way mashup. I think this has a lot of potential for the day.
I'm inclined to agree. Now, isn't there also supposed to be a birthday party that day?
There is, because it is Jack Evans' birthday, so this is a fans bring the presents match. Don't bring weapons, legit bring presents, because it's Jack Evans' birthday match. It's Jack Evans and Angelico versus Jake and Dave Christ.
That match is going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
It's going to be insane.
Yes, and that's an understatement, seriously. I got a world of respect for all four of these guys, and I would love to see this match in person.
We also have, first time ever. Now, this was a change. Initially, Masato Tanaka was going to be a part of our event. Unfortunately, he had commitments. He had commitments throughout all of WrestleCon weekend, and then he had commitments back at Japan, which meant he couldn't participate in any of WrestleCon. And in his place, we already had Adam Rose announced for our event. Adam Rose is going to take the place of Masato Tanaka, and first time ever going one-on-one with Eddie Kingston. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kruger is the former Adam Rose.
Should be a knockdown drag-out. Now, look, in my book, Rose was a very underrated competitor in the WWE who really got crapped on in a number of storylines and was never given a real chance to shine on the main roster. Down at FCW in the developmental area, he did exceptionally well, but was never given that chance, in my book, to really show the world what he could do. Got stuck with that damn bunny especially, and it just put him in a complete mire. So for those who have not had a chance to keep up with Kruger outside of being released from WWE, this match this Saturday at Pancakes and Pile Drivers, Kruger versus Eddie Kingston, folks, this is one that is going to have you standing the whole damn time.
And one thing I probably did forget to mention about the whole Pancakes and Pile Drivers is we are giving away pancakes from IHOP. IHOP is making them and giving them to us to give out. We're putting out on our social media. We will also have at the live event coupons, 10% off coupons for 4 different participating IHOPs in the area. So not only can you get pancakes as part of Pancakes and Pile Drivers, you can also take this coupon anytime between now and April 4th and use it as a discount. So if you were down there for WrestleMania, come to Revolver and you can get discounts on breakfast.
Let's keep rolling.
You got a good chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, I did. Well, see, I was going to come back and say, yes, they will be giving away pancakes, but unless you're in-ring talent, they will not be giving away pile drivers. That is reserved for in-ring talent only, and managers and GMs and announcers and referees and merch kids.
Just maybe not people with 2 missing discs in their neck.
There you go.
At least not for another 6 months.
And that is why you're going to commandeer the airplane, swing into Birmingham, pick me up, and we'll follow the trip on down that way.
There you go. So this is where I have had a hard time sometimes when I put out the press releases for Revolver at what match is really going to be the main event. Because the next 3 are at that caliber.
Yep.
You have a dream tag team match involving the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix, and Penta El Zero, otherwise known as Pentagon, from Lucha Underground, taking on the twins of Brian Cage and Sami Callihan.
I'm not even going to touch that.
This has the potential to not only be intense.
This will be a fans bring the Kevlar match because you're going to need a bulletproof vest.
This is going to be. I see a fight. I see the potential for a bloody mess. I see the potential for this to be a drag out that goes back and forth between Universal and Disney and back to the Wyndham Resort. This is going to be insanity on a stick. That is the nicest way I can even think to put it.
You could have gone Jeff Dunham and said, on a stick.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
You had to go there. We also have, for the first time ever, we're going to crown our first title inside of Wrestling Revolver, and it's going to be the Open Invite Scramble Championship. Now, it's been a tradition since our debut event to have the AR Fox Open Invite Scramble. Well, we're making it bigger. We're going to WrestleCon. It's part of WrestleMania weekend, so we're going to make it the AR Fox Open Invite Scramble ladder match, and there will be 10 people involved in this match.
Damn.
We have AR Fox, Leo Rush, Serpentico, Jason Cade, Matt Cross, Trevor Lee, Joey Janela, Caleb Conley, Zachary Wentz, and Eric Cannon. AR Fox Open Invitational Scramble ladder match to declare the first ever title holder inside of Wrestling Revolver, the Open Invite Scramble champion.
Very cool.
And this match has continued to top itself. The first one is available online for free. You can go look it up now. Look up Revolver AR Fox Open Invite or Invite Scramble. It is out there. You can see the insanity that happened the first one, including seeing Zachary Wentz jump off a 30-foot high balcony on top of the other competitors in the match. Zach himself was not in the last Scramble, but in his tag match against OI4K, climbed a rock wall that was inside the building and jumped about 40 feet off the rock wall onto Jake and Dave Christ.
And that's all this coming Saturday.
That's all this coming Saturday. Oh, but wait.
There's more.
as for the first time ever, Shane Strickland goes one-on-one with Ricochet. And for those of you who are fans of Lucha Underground, this is Killshot versus Prince Puma. This is going to be intense. This is going to be insane. And if you follow any Pro Wrestling Revolver social media at PW Revolver, you can see some of the words that have been exchanged between these two. This is going to blow your mind.
This is going to be a match of the year candidate.
I totally agree.
Plain and simple. I mean, there's no other way that I can say this. Legitimately, it will be a match of the year candidate. Tickets can be obtained for this show through WrestleCon, right?
Correct. Go to WrestleCon.com. Tickets will be available there. We are actually about 3/4 of the way through our tickets. So we don't know how fast tickets will stay. So don't wait. If you are going to come to this event, get your tickets now at WrestleCon.com. Hey, you're going to get free pancakes with the event. You're going to get a 10% coupon for the rest of the time you were there in Orlando up until April 4th to get 10% off your breakfast at IHOP, all brought to you by Wrestling Revolver. And on top of, all the great action I just mentioned. But wait, there's more. Because it is just the first of 2 events that Pro Wrestling Revolver is going to be involved with, as it also will have its Midnight After Mania event with Wrestle Circus taking on Wrestling Revolver. It'll take place midnight-ish after Mania, because who knows what could happen on the network. Mania could go past midnight. So they're going to roughshot it, saying starts at midnight or whenever everyone gets there. Taking place at the Plaza Live at 425 North Bumby Avenue in Orlando, Florida. A very limited amount of tickets are available. We are down to under 100 left. You can get your tickets now at midnightaftermania.com.
I'd seen something about that show up in my timeline, but I can't track it down. So do me a favor. You've got the event page for it?
I do. I have all of the card information in front of me, yes. So I will gladly share it with everybody.
Okay, do me a favor. Fan page.
Well, definitely check out, again, all of our social media is PW Revolver. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure to check it out.
Now, I'm going to bounce it back over to the great state of Alabama for a second, because for mixed martial arts fans, there is one hell of an event lined up this Saturday, April 1st, 7 o'clock p.m. in Coleman, Alabama. 14 mixed martial arts fights under the banner of Strikehard Promotions. I've had the honor and privilege of working with this group in previous days. I've done ring announcing for them. I've done commentary and interviews for them. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to Jamie Sullivan, Matt Lavelle, and David Elder for all of the hard work that they do in Strikehard Mixed Martial Arts. But once again, this coming Saturday, let me ease over here for a hot second. It will be at the Coleman Civic Center, 510 5th Street Southwest in Coleman. Showtime, or it's supposed to kick off at 7 o'clock p.m. Doors are going to open at 6. From that vantage point, here is one of the kickers for the night. There are, I know the majority of the names that are going to be on this card. I've had a chance to see them either in person or via video. There are some great amateur bouts lined up specifically. But I want to bring your attention. If you want to find the next generation of talented female strikers this night, we'll bring you one of those fights. Deidre Whitfield, Hannah Guy in the 115 weight class for the ladies. Relentless MMA sponsoring Hannah Guy. Champions MMA out of Birmingham sponsoring Deidre Whitfield. I understood that there was going to be a second women's fight on this card. I have not gotten that update yet. But in the pro fight, let me come back to the Amis for a second. because there is a name that a lot of people are not going to know in the southeastern U.S. at this point. Some will quite easily, because Rodriguez Dansby will be going head up, representing Spartan MMA, against Christian Eccles from Coleman MMA. Great. I'll get it right in a minute, but I'm just going to stick with Coleman MMA. On the pro side of life, Michael Morgan from Outlaw MMA coming in at 200 pounds. And by the way, I am trying to remember. Yeah, it is heavyweight. The Christian Eccles, Rodriguez Danby fight is going to come in the heavyweight classification. But in the 200-pound class, Michael Morgan from Outlaw MMA will also be taking on someone from Coleman MMA in the form of Ray Eccles. Make the connotation yet, kids? You are going to have one of the few shows that you have seen that has a father and son fighting on the same card. The dad in the professional classification, the son still in the amateur classification. I know Ray Eccles. I've known him for a while. He is a great teacher, a great trainer, a great motivator, a great coach, and a damn good almost said in-ring.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, really.
I felt it coming.
Yeah, really. The man can wrestle, the man can fight, the man can box, all of the above. He is a very well-rounded gladiator. So I'm honestly going to sit back and say Ray Eccles, Michael Morgan, that match in and of itself is going to have you smiling and jumping up and down and going right along with it, because these are two excellent fighters. Also, in the heavyweight classification, Kim Odie and Dwayne McQueen, these two right here are going to absolutely tear it up. And we don't unfortunately have time to really run down and give you the full breakdown of the entire card. But like I said, one of the things in particular, I've met Christian before, and I'm making every possible, if I don't jump a plane to go down to Orlando this weekend, I'm making every move possible so that I can be in Coleman this coming Saturday night for the Strikehard Mixed Martial Arts. Ray runs his own dojo, and it's different from Coleman MMA. When that is where he teaches also, but he has a fight company that he promotes, and I'm going to very safely imagine that he and the folks from Strikehard are working together on this. Perfect. I love it. We've taken a hell of a kick in the nuts down here in the state of Alabama as it pertains to pro wrestling, as it pertains to boxing. Well, not really, because boxing is where the AAC wanted to be to begin with. And I'm not going to take anything away from World Heavyweight Champion Deontay Wilder. Jay Deese is a hell of a promoter out of the Tuscaloosa market. Hang on. But wrestling and mixed martial arts, pro wrestling that is, we've taken a kick to the nuts because of the Alabama Athletic Commission. Granted, because of some changes which have occurred, you do have more pro wrestling events that are coming to pass. But because of some of the things that were taking place with the AAC, the Alabama Athletic Commission, I will anagram it from now. It was cost prohibitive for a lot of companies to run. Look, I'm going to be brutally honest about something. Most people who have been promoting wrestling and mixed martial arts in the state of Alabama, we do it because of a sense of pride that we get, that at the end of the night, when you're saying, oh my God, I had a great time. And if we can make some money in the process, more power to everybody. We understand down here in Alabama, we're probably not going to get drop dead rich over this. But nobody wakes up in the morning going, hey, let me find a new and creative way to lose money. I don't care if I'd have won the $1.6 billion Powerball from last year. I would not have said that. First thing out of my mouth, how can I double it? I'd be an investing fool, but I'd do it smart and wise. I'm in this world to make money. I do a lot of stuff for the love of the game, but at the end of the day, the love of the game don't pay the power bill. And Alabama Power doesn't take emotion, nor do they take emojis. Unless, of course, you're the person who invented the emoji, then you're probably worth more than Alabama Power. But, sorry about that hack right there. I apologize, kids. It's starting to take its toll on me. But this Saturday night, coming back to it, and I'm just going to be brutally honest about it, this is going to be one hell of a night of mixed martial arts action. If you are in Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, which I know a lot of these fighters come from, there's even going to be a few coming up from the Gulf Coast. If you are a mixed martial arts fan, make your way up 65 to Coleman. You are going to have a hell of a time. There's a part of me that wishes it was back in Birmingham at the Zamora Shrine Temple, but I know why they moved it to Coleman. So I started to go into depth about the problems we're having with the AAC. But I'm also noticing the fact that some shows are starting to come back. To which I will sit back and say, for the promoters in this state, wrestling, mixed martial arts, and boxing, that know how to do good business, unlike a certain promoter up in the Huntsville market who stole the t-shirt design from the Violent Gentleman to make his own t-shirts to try to make himself some money. Ooh. That is why that particular promotion will never get mentioned on this station. And I have friends who are pro wrestlers up in the North Alabama and Southern Tennessee market. They have asked me to push this show. Not the Strikehard. I'm back in pro wrestling for a second. That's another one. Damn, it's getting me. Okay. Just had to cough my head off for a second there. That's why the dead air. But the short version is, like I said, for those who know how to do good business, we welcome you back to the fold. And we will, good promoters will work with each other and work with talent 7 days a week. Those who don't understand the concept of doing good business, you will fall. Plain and simple. Kind of like a smartass does from a scaffold, or a ladder, or a tree. Scaffold, ladder, not necessarily a tree. Light tubes, barbed wire. Man, I sound like I'm ready for combat, don't I?
Is that your segue?
Ding, 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 ding. You go to the bonus round.
Because also taking place on Saturday night, April 1st, is CZW Best of the Best. This is an annual tournament that has gone on for 18 years. This is going to be one of the largest tournaments in Best of the Best history, taking place down also at the Wyndham Orlando Resort International in Orlando, Florida. In the first round of the tournament, and these are opening round matches, Shane Strickland versus Leo Rush versus Joey Janela versus Desmond Xavier. That's match one of our first round. Michael Elgin versus Anthony Henry versus Scorpio Sky versus Zachary Wentz. Match 3, Sammy Callahan versus Ray Phoenix versus Dave Christ versus Jake Christ. And in match 4, Jason Cade versus The Product David Starr versus AR Fox versus Ricochet. This is the best of the best tournament. So these men go on to compete in further rounds of the tournament on this night. On this coming Saturday, there will be a best of the best winner.
Now, for those who don't understand the concept of where the best of the best runs, you have the 4 fatal 4-ways that are in the first round. Yes. And then you have some non-tournament matches, such as in non-tournament action, Pentagon versus Father Matthew Tremont. Tremont.
Yes.
Yeah, you haven't lived until you've gotten called out by fans for coughing and trying to pronounce his name and pronouncing it wrong. It's like, can I please have a coughing fit first and then I'll try to get it right? And they started.
You went French there for a minute.
Yeah, I did. French Canadian, actually.
Tremont.
Yeah, I know. First time I did it and Matt was in the ring, he laughed his ass off. It's like, dude, really? Did you just do that?
Really, brother?
Yeah, I know. And this is the thing about it. Pentagon, I've never had an opportunity to work with, but like I said, and you've heard me say this before on this station and this network, Matt Tremont is probably my ass. He is one of the more well-rounded people that, and I'm gonna give a qualifier on this that I shouldn't have to give, because a lot of people know Tremont from the world of the ultra-violent, the world of hardcore pro wrestling, that is. And sorry, Paige. And from that point, I've got to sit back and say, or Sonny, he does so much more than that. And of course, don't forget, he does have a very good collectible store, right? Right.
Oh, yes.
Oh, damn straight. And you've got an opportunity in this match with Tremont and Pentagon. I think this is going to be one that people are going to say, no, 5 more minutes. I don't care who won. That's something I've never really seen fans get into, or fans start doing. Okay, the winner of the following the match. No, 5 more minutes. Let them go. Come on. But you've got Pentagon versus Father Matthew Tremont, and also for the CZW World Heavyweight title. The champion. Will he bring it to the ring, or will it be in namesake only? And Joe Gacy, as the Chainsaw defends against Brian Cage. Phil?
This is going to be intense. And this is the first of 3 CZW World title defenses in 8 days. Actually, if I extend that out, because Gacy is actually going to be in competition on Thursday night with the CZW World Heavyweight Championship. So from Thursday through Sunday the 9th, that heavyweight championship is going to be defended 4 different times.
Yep.
So this is, well, the second of 2 defenses by Joe Gacy. If he makes it through this, then the winner of this match faces Leo Rush on April 8th back in Voorhees, New Jersey. And then on April 9th, whoever is the champion between Brian Cage, Joe Gacy, and Leo Rush will take on Bad Boy Tito at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Sunday, April 9th.
That's right, because there has been a contingent from Combat Zone at CWH.
Absolutely, and actually this past weekend we saw Joey Janela go out, and attempt to defend the CZW Wired Television Championship, and he lost it to Johnny Yuma.
Yep. Now,
so it's a great caliber of talent. CZW is part of the United Wrestling Network.
Yep.
And it's continuing on in our relationship with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So it's really interested to seeing what happens next. And kind of speaking of opportunity, we have one additional non-tournament match for Best of the Best, and it's our Ultimate Opportunity Jackpot Scramble, where the winner will get any match of any type at any time of their choosing between Ethan Case, Caleb Conley, Ricky Shane Page, Ace Austin, Alexander James, and Tony Deppen. And the little bug in my ear today was, oh yeah, and more will be added to that match.
Mm-hmm. Got a feeling there's going to be about 3 more names added to that match.
Fair, I could see that. I could really see that.
Now, and this is the part that gets me, because scrambles, okay, for those who know me, you know what I'm about to say here. For those who don't know me, you're going to hear this for the first time and probably chuckle. When you have the right talent in a scramble style matchup, whether it be single, fall, or elimination style, it can be a match where it is a vision of beauty and glory, or it could turn out to be a glorious cluster blank. That's why when somebody tells me, yes, we're doing a scramble, who's in it? Well, blank, 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 blank. Stop there. Hold up. Cool. This could work. And I'm listening to the names that Phil's racking off, and I've got the names in front of me. I'm going to sit back and say this. Depending on who else they add, once again, this is going to fall into the former, not the latter, because you've got some gifted, talented athletes that are going to be involved in this, and it is going to be a don't blink circumstance. And remember, it's the ultimate opportunity scramble, where the winner, as you heard Phil just say, gets any match of any type at any time they choose. By the way, Best of the Best does have a Facebook event page. We have shared that on the Beyond Ringside Facebook Facebook friends and Facebook fan page, just like we did for the Wrestling Revolver pages as well. From that vantage point, there have also been some other stuff that we've added into the rotation on the Beyond Ringside friends and fan page. So Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside. Remember, give me
things.
Huh?
Use your words.
Words and numbers and things. And Phil, give everybody the websites on how they can find out more about Best of the Best.
You can check out more information about Best of the Best. You can go to czwrestling.com. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Combat Zone and on Facebook at Official CZW.
Thank you very much. For the record, you heard me during hour number 1, and I'm going to take things a little bit past this weekend because you heard Phil make a comment about the. By the way, where's the Wired television? Where's the Wired title at now?
It is around the waist of Yuma out in California.
So Yuma ain't going to make the trip out here to Florida to defend the Wired TV title? I'm going to kick his ass.
Well, like I said, there is some more participants that could be joining inside the Ultimate Scramble. So
scratch head, hint, hint. Also, for the record, on April 8th in Voorhees, New Jersey, whoever walks out of the Best of the Best, I
think would be well positioned for their future.
Okay, let me look at this right here, because is this match on April 8th going to be a triple threat match with the person who wins Best of the Best, the person who wins the CZW World Heavyweight Championship, and Leo Rush?
Not as of now. Right now, it is only a singles match between whoever walks out as the CZW World Heavyweight Championship. Whoever walks out as the CZW World Heavyweight Champion between Brian Cage and Joe Gacy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Subtle nuance error. That was my fault. I can't read. So whoever walks out of this show this Saturday, whether it be Joe Gacy or Brian Cage, whichever person holds the World Heavyweight Championship will defend against Leo Rush in Voorhees, New Jersey at Flyer Skate Zone. 601 Laurel Oak Road?
That's on April 8th, yes, at Flyer Skate Zone, 601 Laurel Oak Road in Voorhees, New Jersey.
And I did that without a prompter.
I'm so proud of you.
It's a scary thought that I can actually remember that. No, there are so many addresses that run through my head on any given week when we're doing these shows, because there are so many shows that there are some shows that I have the privilege of working with. I have friends and colleagues who work with so many different shows around the Southeast, and some of them are headed up north. I've got friends and family wrestling family who are working for the National Wrestling League KC and St. Louis. So I'm always happy to hear about what's going on with them, and I know they've got events coming up on the horizon. From there, you've got, of course, I work with Global. I work with Peach State Wrestling Alliance, and I do some affiliate work with Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment still. And because of my schedule, I don't get a chance to work with AWE nearly as much as I would like to. But that's an entirely different animal. As soon as I get healthy, they have sent me some matches that do not have commentary that I'm going to go back and voice first person on in studio. But I'm going to look at it like this. I will treat this match, because I'm not going to watch it then go back and do commentary for it. I will watch it the first time. 2 matches that they've sent me, I've been there for, but we didn't do commentary at the event. When I do commentary, I'm not knocking anybody else who does taped commentary. I'm not. How you do it is your thing. Do y'all thing. Do what you're going to do. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Thank you. Shake and rumble. The fact of the matter is, when I do commentary for, when I tape it, plain and simple, I treat it like I'm there. I treat it like it's live. I give it the respect and the gravity that I feel it deserves. I don't phone it in. That's against my religion. That's against my heart. That's against my train of thought. So when these matches go public, I'll let you know. Like I said, give me a couple of days to get my voice back up to 100% or somewhere close. I've got antibiotics, I've got steroids, I've got codeine cough syrup, I've got my Mucinex, I've got my Dayquil, I've got my NyQuil. I really should have just waited to see if you'd have jumped in there anywhere with what.
You You were going so fast.
Oh, I got my antibiotics.
What?
I got my steroids.
What?
I got my Dayquil.
What?
I got my Dayquil.
What?
Got my codeine cough syrup.
What?
Got my Scooby-Doo blanket ready to go so I can crawl back under that sumbitch in a little while. Do not have a Scooby-Doo blanket, but it just sounded good considering where I was going with all that.
Ugh. That took too much out of me.
What?
A lot.
There you go. But once again, the person who wins, and like I said, the way that was worded in the press release, it made me initially think that the person who wins best of the best, as well as the winner of the world championship, will be in a 3-way match against Lio Rush, or with Rush added to it. So that was my fault for coming across the way that I did and asking the way that I did. The words ran together. See, they do that with my eyes, not only with me speaking them. Yeah. But before we head out, because we're getting ready to go to the radio range, we were originally going to go 30 minutes in this segment. Now, I'm going to come back. Are there any others for this weekend that you need to make sure to get the word out there about? Yes, we're doing that part live, kids.
Those are my priorities to get out there for this weekend. Wrestling Revolver on both the first and midnight-ish after WrestleMania, and then Combat Zone Wrestling Best of the Best on April 1st.
Okay. And then, of course, you heard us make a reference to Ring of Honor this coming Saturday. And, of course, for in my home state, Strikehard Mixed Martial Arts in Coleman, Alabama. For the record, I know that I'll be back with Peach State Wrestling Alliance in just a couple of weeks. That is going to be Saturday, April the 15th, Carrollton, Georgia, at the VFW Fairgrounds. And Global Championship Wrestling returns for April Abrogation. I didn't make that up. It's real. Somebody else made it up, and I just went with it. On Saturday, April 29th at the Pell City Civic Center. You heard me make a reference to the 3 matches that are going to have my attention coming into this weekend from WWE on Mania. Which matches have got your attention the most? I don't think I ever turned that question back to you.
At Mania itself?
Yeah.
You know what? And I know we kind of discredited it a little bit, but I am kind of interested in what happens with AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon in the past has proven that he can bring it sometimes very surprisingly for some people. I actually think there could be something there. And hey, we talked about what surprisingly AJ has gotten out of people in the past. Right. This could be no different. I want to like Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. I really genuinely want to like Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. I don't want to see Randy Orton again. I just don't. I don't. There is him being a part of the Wyatt family was a new side to him that we needed to see from him. I really do think that. We're back to the same Orton. What new is there for him to show us? But I want it to be good. I see the potential in what it could be, and I'm so desperate to see that.
Let me ask this question. Who's the heel in this matchup?
Randy.
Then why does it seem like they're putting Bray over as the heel? This is one of those circumstances where I'm genuinely confused, because when when SmackDown Live came to Birmingham recently for a house show, Randy and Bray were both, B-O-T-H, both, so incredibly over, I felt horrible for Luke Harper. Because I knew him as Brody Lee, and he's a damn talented guy. Mm-hmm. And it's cool as hell to talk to. And
I've heard he's had a lot of heads turn his way in the last few months, especially in the matches he's had.
Right.
And I think that has helped several people look at Brody Lee in a different way. And I'm calling Luke Harper Brody Lee.
Me too.
And part of me was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So not sorry. But so I think, I mentioned a little bit earlier, I saw a report today that, there's some conversation going on about Braun Strowman possibly getting a bigger role after WrestleMania. Well, the same thing I've heard said of Luke Harper because of what he's been able to showcase himself as. I do see some potential for some people coming out of WrestleMania. There are some people I hope, not that I want to see people crash and burn, but there's some people I hope, okay, it's time to move on to other things. So I'm very interested in seeing kind of what comes next. I've been very open about what I think is going to happen with the Hardys coming into the WWE. I don't think it'll be at WrestleMania. I think they're going to build it. And I actually think they're going to go to SmackDown because I think they've already laid a foundation there. And whether people have seen it or not, when they start talking about American Alpha and their exploration of gold and them taking on all comers and all open challenges and using that kind of language and then you reflect, well, wait a minute, the Hardys have been saying, well, they're on an exploration of gold and that they're the real tag team champions of the entire world, the entire universe. I just feel in a way that that's what they're building to. And I do think it's interesting that if you look at the WrestleMania card, the SmackDown tag team titles aren't represented.
Right. They're in the SmackDown Tag Championships are not going to be defended on the main card or in the pre-show. That the Usos are a part of the Battle Royal.
Right.
Waste of time. Waste of talent.
And you know what? The Usos have done a tremendous turnaround. They're doing what Roman Reigns should have been doing.
Yep. And even when they're getting booed, they're getting over.
Because they've accepted. It feels more genuine. It feels more real. And it's like, you know what? Cut the cord and do it. You mentioned earlier, being organic on what you see. And if the crowd is developing organically in the way they like or don't like somebody, own it. And for whatever reason, the WWE doesn't want to own it.
No, they don't. And the thing about it is, I've got to go and put this in play real quick. I'm going to send it to you for last call in just a second. I feel the same way that I felt last week. Raw Creative screwed the pooch by putting the Universal title in the Goldberg-Lesnar match. Because you have purists, you have longtime wrestling fans, and you have people who spend money on that product who are sitting back going, great, now the damn belt's going to be on a part-timer again. Am I wrong in this philosophy?
No, not at all. But that's just it. I think whoever walks out of WrestleMania between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, I have a feeling they're not going to do the same thing that they did with The Rock, and that we're not going to see The Rock we're not going to see the champion again for 8 months. I just have a feeling that they got burned by that experience. I don't want to say they got burned by The Rock. They just got burned by the experience of what happened with that title being away. And some of that same. My brain is triggered on something because, and I almost said this and I stayed away from it. A lot of the seeming resentment that CM Punk had for things in the WWE revolved around the title. Now, of course, you can make that argument, yes, that the WWE title is a prop, that, the main event of WrestleMania, yes, it circles around the title, but the title itself is a prop. And people reflect that at that WrestleMania that CM Punk and The Undertaker really had, quote, the main event. And CM Punk used that in his own words when he spoke on the Colt Cabana podcast that, people in the WWE said that was really the main event. And his counter argument back to that was, well, no, it wasn't the main event. It wasn't the last match on the card. And
neither was Steamboat Savage, but how many people talk about that over Andre and Hogan?
Exactly. That is completely true. But one of CM Punk's reasons for saying he walked away from going into WrestleMania was because they were going to build this match with him and Triple H, and he didn't see the purpose of it. He was hurt at the time too. Felt like, they were just throwing randomness together to get randomness out there. And I look at AJ Styles and Shane McMahon, and I kind of feel like
that was supposed to be CM Punk and Hunter.
I really kind of feel like that. At the same time, fans like Shane McMahon, AJ Styles has had a banner year. I think if there's two people who can pull something together in a way that you might not expect, I really do think it might be AJ Styles and Shane McMahon.
Okay.
I'm also wouldn't put it past Shane McMahon as the well, I always get confused between commissioner and general manager.
Commissioner.
Yeah. As the commissioner, he could also pull an audible and be like, "Oh, I said that we would be in a match, but I didn't say I'd be alone." I could see some kind of twist into all of this. Maybe out comes Finn Balor. That's a wild one I'm throwing out there, but you never know, and I think that could be some of the twist.
I think Finn's a part of the Raw roster alongside of Bayley.
Oh, well, he is, but he was injured and he no compete clause. There's always ways to work around how it.
Of course, it's
appears.
WWE. They write the rules. They can break their own damn rules. Logical progression. To which I will sit back and say, speaking of the logical progression, let's try saying that 3 times fast. Phil Stamper, last call.
So, this is a huge week for professional wrestling. This is a huge week for independent wrestling. I think independent wrestling, especially the major companies, have learned, wait a minute, people are flocking here to go to one of the biggest representations of our industry. Why don't we go there too and showcase ourselves and people can come see us too? Yeah, that's smart. I'm glad to see so many people doing it. Of course, now it's almost oversaturated. Yep. And that's a disappointing thing. And that's the only disappointing side of this, because now you have so many options to see so many great talents. And I know people who are floating between the WWN Live Experience and Ring of Honor and WrestleCon and all of the events that are inside of all of those, like we talked about, Wrestling Revolver and Combat Zone. So it is such a great opportunity to just get so entrenched in everything wrestling-wise that has happened. And I am actually really happy to see how they promoted Raw. They're promoting Raw for next week because it's the Raw after WrestleMania. Right. It's only taken them, really in the last 3-4 years has Raw after WrestleMania become the big thing, and they've picked that up, that it's its own special event. And I am really actually happy to see that represented on television and how it's going to be carried out. And actually, I misspoke when I said WrestleMania weekend ends on Monday with Wrestling Revolver, because in a way, it doesn't end until Tuesday with SmackDown Live. So, again, so many events are taking place this coming weekend. Check it out. I do the calendar so people can try to find events to go to and see wrestling that people don't realize how much wrestling there is. And being a part of Wrestling Revolver, one of the things that I did to promote Wrestling Revolver was I reached out to the wrestling community in Florida to say, hey, come check out this show. I didn't go and just hope and pray that WrestleCon itself would carry Revolver. I put bank into, hey, local wrestling community of Orlando, on top of this international community that's coming in, come check it out. And guess what? It sold more tickets than any other event at High Spots right now for WrestleCon. Mm-hmm. Check it out. It's going to be fantastic. And that's just it. And we talk about marketing, and I feel like I always bring this up in some way, shape, or form. You have to market in every possible way you can. This is a business. This is an industry. People, like you said, are not going in it to try to lose money, try to make money off of this. This is a business. This is an industry. We want fans to participate inside of this industry and have fun. This is not the weekend for the naysay. This is the weekend to just dive deep and just have fun.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
That should be what it's all about. Sorry, my headset was on, but I was away from the mic. That's why it came across real faint. I haven't totally lost my voice, to which most people who listen go, damn. I I am one of the most self-deprecating sons of bitches you will ever know in your life. That's how seriously I take myself. I pick on myself relentlessly. No, I don't have self-esteem issues. I have self-esteem additions. I went past issues. I went to volumes. Real quick. We talk about live events also real quick for my home state of Alabama and the upper southeastern U.S. This coming Friday night, ProSouth Wrestling presents Redemption 2017 live at the ProSouth Arena, 627 Southern Avenue, Friday, March 31st. All tickets $10. Already signed for the event. For the ProSouth Championship, the number one contender, Donnie Primetime, versus challenger Shane Knowles versus the champion, Big Tomb. Shane Knowles in the title hunt over in ProSouth. Congratulations, Shane. From there, tag team championships. The challengers, the left-hand path with Matthias Darkthorn, take on the Killer 3, take on the Greenhorn Militia. For the all-out championship, Eric Silva defends against Cabana Man Dan this Friday night in Piedmont. Grudge match, James Hardy versus Ace Haven with Amy at ringside. The Trickster taking on Damian Serotonin in a grudge match. And the Spearing Mirrors versus Scott Spade and El Diablo Loco Trace. Try saying that 3 times fast. Once again, for our friends in eastern Alabama and western Georgia, southern Tennessee, definitely, if you're in the market, check it out this Saturday night. And so many other live events that are going on. Let me switch to this page real quick, because I just want to bring this into fruition. Let's run this real quick. I'm going to do this light speed, so bear with me. Saturday, April 1st, Monster Pro Wrestling, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling, Nanaimo, British Columbia. I hope I got that right. Please let me have got that somewhere close to right. Midget Mania, Lancaster, California. 302 at the Delaware Auto Exchange in Felton, Delaware. It's 302 Pro Wrestling. Beyond Wrestling, Castleberry, Florida. Combat Zone, you heard us talk about it, at the Wyndham Orlando Resort. Fighting Evolution Wrestling at the Orlando Downtown Rec Complex on Paramore Avenue in Orlando. They've got 3 different shows running that day. Go Wrestle in South Daytona, Florida. Ignite in Orlando. Progress versus Evolve in Orlando at the Orlando Downtown Rec Center. 363 North Paramore. Ring of Honor, Lakeland. Shimmer at the Orlando Downtown Rec Center at high noon Eastern, morethanmania.com. United States Wrestling Alliance, Orlando at the Team Vision Dojo. The WrestleCon Super Show, the Hyatt Regency 9801 International Drive in Orlando, 8:30 p.m. The Women's Super Show from WrestleCon, Hyatt Regency 9801 International, 4 p.m. Wrestling Revolver, you've heard us talk about that. The WWN Super Show at Orlando Live Events on Highway 17. Fern Park, Florida. Disciples of Christ Wrestling Ministry at the Winders Lions Club. Try saying that 3 times fast. In Winder, Georgia, 7 p.m. Hebsdorf, Germany. Screw that up, Eddie. Hebsdorf, Germany. New European Championship Wrestling. Westside Extreme Wrestling in Fulda, Germany. POW, P-O-W-W, at Fox Lake, Illinois. And that's just 01 USA Supreme, Mattoon, Illinois. Just some of the events going on this coming Saturday. I know we only scratched the surface, but you got shows across the country and around the world this weekend. Take the time. Get the hell out of the house. Take the network with you. It's wireless. You can you can drive and listen. Not watch. That'd be stupid. Listen. Bluetooth the audio into your car. Listen. Watch later. Go check out a live event. You owe it to yourself as a wrestling fan, because this weekend being Mania weekend, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and Tuesday for SmackDown Live, everybody's going to be putting their best foot forward. You owe it to yourself if you legitimately call yourself a wrestling fan. Go, check them out, and enjoy the show. And if you enjoyed it, let us know. We'd love to find out what you think about some of the shows that are going on. If you didn't have a good time, let us know. We want to know. That way we can hold the gun to the head of the idiot doing the booking and say, get it right next time. My definition of holding a gun to somebody's head is a Super Soaker 3000 with ice cold water. I'm vicious. I mean, I'm Batman. Okay. Phil, shameless plugs real quick.
The best shameless plug I have is actually for the Deadpool 2 movie trailer that I just saw, because it's him pushing Spider-Man into the water.
Yeah, that was funny.
But other shameless plugs, make sure you check me out online on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at PSPhenom. That's PSPHENOM, or at Desco Phil Stamper on Facebook.
And for me personally, at Fast Eddie Layne on Twitter. I'll see everybody this coming Friday night at Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster, 9 p.m. start time for Friday night karaoke. Always a great time. Even if I can't talk, guess what? That means you get to sing more often. The less I talk, the more everybody sings. Bring your ass down to B-Dubs. I'm looking forward. Friday night, Alabaster. At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside, and Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. Yes, we're on LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Beyond Ringside. Run it all together. And of course, yes, we're still over on MySpace occasionally when I remember to go over and update crap. And of course, the homes are still beyondringside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net. Thank you, Mark Bowman and Brooks Logan, for coming on during hour number 1. Phil and I went for the marathon tonight because we had so much we needed to cover. Phil, always a pleasure, my friend, so I will say it like this. For the Phenom, Phil Stamper.
And for Fast Eddie Layne.
You've still yet to master the art of just that little zinger going out, right?
I know. I'm horrible. Bye, everybody.
Because you're the president and they're not.
Yeah,
the president.
Well, no, it's because you can trust in Phil.
That would have been the good one to go with. So we'll do this again live. For the Phenom, Phil Stamper.
That's not really a good lead. And trust in Phil.
Hashtag trust in Phil. The president of pro wrestling says you can always hashtag trust in Phil. Why do I get the feeling I'm going to see that on social media in 30 minutes?
In 30 minutes, I'm going to be unconscious.
So am I. I'm the Magic City Motor Valve Fast Eddie Layne saying until next time, adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abasina, au revoir, until we meet again. Aloha means I really need my cough medicine right about now, so I'm going to go take my painkillers and my steroids and my antibiotics and my codeine-based cough syrup and become unconscious. Thank you for joining us on Back to Basics, and join us all next time as we go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.